Hello everybody, this is Yoko's Anime Reactions, and this is going to be my review for Rick and Morty Season 1, Episode 1. If you guys want this one to win, I've said it in the others, I will say it in this one. You need to like the video, subscribe on the video, and this isn't going to calculate towards it, but it'd be good if you could share the video, because more people see it, the more people might want to watch more of it, which could up your chances of getting this one to be, to win. Anyway, this is the pilot episode for the show, and as far as I can tell, there's 6 seasons ongoing, plus a bunch of deleted scenes and stuff. So if I was to cover this one, I'd have a lot to cover. Though the seasons are like 10, 12 episodes a pop, so not that big a deal. Anyway, poor Morty gets dragged out of bed in the middle of the night by Rick, who is clearly drunk, and his grandpa is very smart, to where he not only made a portal gun, but he made a flying ship, a flying car, whatever you want to call it. And he ends up telling Morty that, yeah, I made a bomb, and I'm going to drop it and destroy humanity. And Morty obviously is freaking out, trying to get him to not do it, even going as far as trying to grab the wheel of the vehicle to get him to stop. And, yeah, apparently this was a test. I don't really believe that, to be honest. Then again, the guy was drunk off his butt, because as soon as he tried to pull out his flask from his pocket, he passes out, leaving the bomb still armed. Anyway, it cuts to the next morning, where Morty falls asleep in his food, and Jerry starts getting mad at Rick because Summer dropped the bomb that they had gone out that night, and is essentially claiming Rick as being a bad role model because he's keeping Morty out all night, many nights I might add, and how this is going to affect his schooling. And Rick essentially tells him that, yeah, school isn't for smart people. You're not gonna use most of it that you learn in your future jobs. And for the most part, he is right. There is some stuff you are not going to use in work if you go for like a regular office job. If you go for a regular office job, you might use math, you might use some, obviously, English, reading, that sort of stuff, but you're not going to use any history, really. I guess the reason they teach us history is just to make sure we don't repeat the mistakes of the past, I guess. I don't know. And we don't forget what happened in the past, obviously. That's probably the only reason that they would ever have to teach us history. But yeah, most of what you learn in school is not going to be used when you get out of school and get into the workforce. What they ought to teach you guys in school is things that you will actually need to learn, like how to balance a budget, for example, how to be able to pay bills, stuff like that you can use in your day-to-day life. That's what they ought to teach people. They ought to teach that in the curriculum, but no. That's supposed to be optional. No, that should be a requirement. Anyway, he ends up leaving. Morty goes to school, and Morty immediately falls asleep during his math class, which, like I said before in the actual reaction, why are they learning basic addition and subtraction and all that in what looks to be a high school, or at the very least, middle school going into high school? I'm assuming high school. But yeah, I know Morty is probably not the smartest guy around, but seriously, there look to be other kids in there that probably were a lot smarter than him, so why were they... Is the teacher incompetent? The teacher's gotta be incompetent. Anyway, some guy starts, dang it, what was his name, Ricky? This guy named Ricky starts threatening Morty, threatening to cut him, all for saying good morning to the guy. Thankfully, Rick shows up and freezes him into place as an ice statue, and tells him, yeah, I need your help, come on. And he leaves with Morty, and Summer tries to hit on Ricky, Freddy, Ricky, whatever the heck his name was, and the guy falls over, and like I expected, it broke into pieces, killing him. And Summer automatically freaks out, which is the normal response to that sort of situation. And come to find out that Rick asked Morty to come with him to another dimension where some mega trees are growing, which contain mega fruit, mega seeds, and he needs the mega seeds for some sort of science experiment. What Rick failed to do was when he gave him the I guess magnetic shoes, or whatever you want to call them, that allow him to walk down walls, that they need to be turned on before you use them. If he had done that, Morty wouldn't have fallen down that cliff, broken both his legs, they wouldn't have wasted the portal gun getting him the medicine to fix his legs, and they wouldn't have had to go through customs. So yeah, that is all Rick's fault. But yeah, that was actually Rick's fault. If he had done that, that wouldn't have happened. But then again, there wouldn't have been much of an episode if it wasn't. Anyway, we find out that Beth is an actual heart surgeon, though she only works on horses, from what I gather in the show. Why she doesn't work on humans, I don't know. I mean, she's a freaking heart surgeon. Those are hard to come by. That's a specialist job, I might add. She should be able to work on humans as well as, but whatever she decides. Anyway, Jerry shows up wanting to invite her to lunch, but she's obviously in the middle of a surgery. And while they're chatting, she has to stop several times to be able to fix the stupid heart because it keeps on crashing. And essentially, he tries to convince her to put Rick in a nursing home. I was like, he is not going to stand for that. All he has to do is charge his portal gun and he's out. You'd never see him again. So, yeah, Jerry's plan would normally work on any other person, but not on Rick Sanchez. Nope. He's not like other people. Anyway, they have to go through customs to get back to their dimension because the portal gun, like I said, is dead. Because for some reason using it only the couple times we've seen it in the show has depleted the battery. Then again, he could have probably already been using it who knows how long before they showed up, but whatever. Hindsight's 2020. Anyway, he has to shove those stupid seeds way up his rectum because that's the only way they're going to be able to smuggle them through customs. Well, when they get to the checkpoint, Morty is the one who is given a random cavity search that's supposed to check for things up the butt, which obviously I'm like, oh dear. And they obviously make a run for it, and manage to get to the portal, and Rick and Morty has to shoot some of the guards in order to keep them off him so they can get to their destination, which Rick took his sweet time doing. How long should it have taken him to type it out? Oh, then again, they have to go to different dimensions. So, I mean, he had to type in the right dimension, the coordinates and everything, I guess. I don't know. Still, it probably shouldn't have taken that much time. Anyway, they get back to the school, and Jerry, Beth, and the principal are there because he had called them in because Morty has been missing a ton of school because of Rick. So, now Beth is on board and sending him to a nursing home, and Rick has to tell them that, yeah, Morty is not like other kids. He's not stupid, and he asks them random smart questions, and Morty's able to actually answer them. And they agree that, yeah, it's fine. He can help you out and stuff. Just he has to go to school. And so he's allowed to stay, obviously, and we find out the reason for that random smartness was due to the mega seeds dissolving in his butt. And it ends up causing, like, a loss of most of your motor function and brain activity for, 72 hours? So, yeah, that was the pilot episode for Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty is a crazy show where all sorts of crazy shenanigans and things that don't make sense at all will happen. So if you guys are excited for that crazy ride and you want this one to win, you better like, subscribe, and get as many of your friends to watch this thing as possible. And do the same. So I'll see you guys next time.